2, 1. I'm not wearing hockey pads.
I was really expecting you were gonna say the Bane line, but
No.
that's so good.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome to the We Only Like Movies Cinecast. I'm Teddy.
I'm David.
I'm I don't know why I did that. I'm Frankie the Midget Pool. Yours, of course.
This is the We Only Like Movies Cinecast. We actually have a special guest here today, Will. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yep. Hello. I'm Will, also known as The Hole in My Garden on YouTube and social media. I make reviews on movies and ever so often like video games. And I like him. Maybe you'll like him, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I like your content. I really like your train spotting video a lot.
Oh, stop.
Okay. I actually haven't seen any of your content yet, so I'm definitely, please send me some links. So first of all, I can put them in the description, and so I can watch them because I'm excited to see anyone's content. Anyway, yeah. I guess now a question for all of you is, what is one thing that went well this week that isn't really movie related? We've been kind of going off topic by saying like, oh, I did a video on a movie, and that's completely fine. It's just basically to say something that went well this week other than just watching like a really good movie.
I guess I just got a lot of my homework done.
Yeah, that's kind of the same with me. I finished a couple of my courses since I'm online schooled. I was able to finish them early, so now I only have like math and new media left, which is great.
Mm-hmm. I managed to finish a new video. That was cool.
Nice.
It's a great video that he put out. You guys should totally watch it.
Yeah, definitely. I'll leave, again, links in the description below for all of our new videos.
Support that one because it took him like 5 tries.
Oh, yeah. Disney kept taking it down. They kept.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They kept blocking it. So I had to re-upload it 5 times.
I actually haven't had any experiences with Disney, but I have had experiences with Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers are pretty protective.
Yes,
and Paramount too. They're very protective over their stuff. But.
I guess because what you reviewed is pretty new. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was weird because there are clips of those scenes on YouTube which they didn't block, but my one for whatever reason set it off.
I seriously don't understand, because I'll have like clips of music that are taken, and it's like probably just like one note that's being played, and it somehow picks it up. It's really weird. I don't understand YouTube's algorithm. Sometimes
you have to do weird things with music, like change the pitch or like the speed of it.
Yeah, speed is really helpful for me. I usually just slow down my music. Like in my First Man video, that's what I did, and I just completely like slowed it down to 50%, and it sounded way better. So, yeah. Frankie, did you say that anything that went well this week for you?
Actually 2. We finally got to talk to George over in his Discord server, which was really well. Yeah. He's pretty shy.
Mm-hmm. Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, surprisingly.
He's cool. And then I finished my Evil Dead script, so I'm going to start working on that video soon.
Yes, that's sick. I'm so excited. Oh, and I haven't even seen the movie. I just know that you make good content. So, yeah. Also, so for like movie news, again, it's been really like short. Tenet, I'm pretty sure got finally pushed. There hasn't been a release date yet.
Yeah.
Which really sucks because Christopher Nolan was really holding out for that one to not get pushed. But
yeah, I was looking forward to that one. It looks weird.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, and I just love how Christopher Nolan can really get like a $250 million budget for like, you know, an idea that he just wrote down on a piece of paper.
Because he's like proved himself with like stuff like Inception.
Exactly.
And stuff like
that. But one thing that is new with movie news is Mission Impossible 7.
Oh God.
Okay, so there was a meme that came out after Mission Impossible 6, which was Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 4, he hangs on the side of a building. Mission Impossible 5, he hangs on the side of a plane. Mission Impossible 6, he hangs on the side of a helicopter. Mission Impossible 7, he hangs on the side of a spaceship. Kind of funny, right? No, it's actually true. He's planning to film on Elon Musk's SpaceX in space.
Yeah, so it isn't confirmed that it is for Mission Impossible, but it is. Like, there's no like what else would it be for?
Why? Like, it's also from Paramount Pictures too, so it's it's pretty clear that it's Mission Impossible. But like, I just don't understand.
He's gonna die.
How
and
old
come back
is
from
the
If
guy?
Tom
space.
Cruise wants to like kill himself for entertainment,
Holy
that's
cow!
fine.
That's literally
Like,
gonna
it's like-
that's gonna be the finale ender. Tom Cruise
Yeah,
kills himself for Mission
if he
Impossible
messes
10.
if he messes up for one take, his fucking blood's gonna get boiled in space.
My
Yep.
goodness, it's so insane. I don't understand. Anyway,
he'll just fall into
It-
deep space.
Imagine. What if he tries to do a judo chop in space and messes up and kills the stunt double instead?
He does a
He is-
judo chop in space, and he fucking chops off a bit of the International Space Station.
wow. Like anyway, and the guy's like 55, isn't he? Like
Yep.
he's old. Anyway, also some more news about Elon Musk is his kid.
Oh god, no!
I've
already seen the memes.
Okay, I literally thought this was. I thought it was fake, and my cousin showed me, and I saw it, and I'm like, no, that's like. He's like, oh yeah, this is his new name, and I'm like, oh, that's just like the link to the website. No, it's not. It's his name. It's
Yeah.
XAEA12.
You know what someone translated it to?
What?
Someone actually translated the name. It's Kyle.
Oh my gosh. Oh my. I can't.
Yeah, there's some good memes on it.
Holy. This is it. Like, this is the breaking point for Elon Musk.
I saw the Joe Rogan podcast. He said he didn't even name his kid that. It was his wife. His wife came up with the name.
Oh no. Wow. Holy. Okay.
Whoa.
So officially we have two insane people, Tom Cruise and Elon Musk, working on Mission Impossible 7. Should be a good time. Oh wow. So
Yeah, I think that franchise has gotten a lot better over the years.
Holy cow, Mission Impossible 6 is like the peak of any action
Fallout,
movie.
yeah, it
Yeah, I
was very
did
good.
a video on it, and it still holds up. And I think people are just really not giving a lot of credit, because there are some good character moments in there too.
Yeah, it's like a lot of what I want out of Hollywood. Yeah, like the dialogue's corny and stuff like that, but I like that.
Yeah. No, it's self-aware in how stupid
Yeah.
some of the stuff that
It's
it
like
does.
a 90s corny action movie.
Yeah,
basically.
except
That's how I
Tom Cruise
describe
breaks
them
his
as.
foot and for a role instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm really excited. Like, I think whenever I started getting really, really hyped for like the next Mission Impossible was when the trailer came up for Mission Impossible 6, because it's very well edited. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's one of the most well edited trailers. And
And watch the movie, of course.
no, don't watch. Just watch the trailer. That's all you need.
Yeah.
This is
It's on Netflix too, I think, which is great.
This is being rumored as their Avengers Endgame. Yeah, there's stuff going on. It's like, who's gonna die? Is it gonna be Simon Pegg, or is it gonna be the other guy?
Oh, right. Actually, I forgot to mention. There is some more movie news due to extras, like extra work for people working on sets. I've been doing extra work for probably like, I don't know, 7 years or so. So I like basically a background actor on movie sets, but since COVID-19 has been happening, what they've been deciding to do now and make an indefinite decision about for the next few years, they're going to be using CGI for background extras. So that means there's going to be no crowds, no extras that just get paid to walk around. It's going to be CGI, which is awful.
It's gonna look like a
Like-
PS2 racing
Yeah.
game.
Oh my
Yep.
goodness, I can't understand. And honestly, it makes sense if you're okay. Do it for the next little while, or just stop filming production altogether. But it says they're doing this for the next couple of years, and I'm like, I can't understand how that's gonna look good.
For like the next Marvel movie, they're gonna CGI Stan Lee in the back.
I really hope they don't do that. I really hope.
Well,
they don't
actually,
do that.
I don't. I wonder if Stan Lee is gonna be in the next, because he wasn't in Spider-Man: Far From Home, was he?
No, his last cameo I think was Endgame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or not
I
Endgame.
think it was
yeah.
fitting. I
Yeah.
think that's a
Yeah,
fitting.
no, it's a good way to end it. Even though I hate how they ended Phase 3 with Spider-Man: Far From Home. I think that's just really dumb. They should have ended it with Endgame. Anyway,
Yeah.
off topic. Other than that, that's kind of all it is for movie news. But what we do have is a recommendation from David from last week.
Yeah. So I recommended the Dark Knight trilogy, but I mostly want to talk about the Dark Knight Rises. But let's first start off with Batman Begins.
Rachel!
So, like, what you guys think of it after rewatching it?
Okay, it's been like, I want to say probably 7 to 8 years ish
Yes,
since I watched
think
it.
it's been that long for me too.
It's been a long time, and I really, really liked it again. Like I was
yeah.
very surprised about it. When talking in terms of flaws, I think editing is probably the worst thing about it.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
action scenes.
I think the editing is pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Not just during like the action scenes, but during normal scenes in general. I noticed some really choppy editing.
Yeah. And most people blame Christopher Nolan for that because they're like, oh, he doesn't know how to direct action scenes. And that may be partially true because you can see in The Dark Knight Rises he has some trouble with that.
Yeah.
But I think it's if you look at how things are shot, things are decently well shot, even if there is shaky cam at points. It's just that they really like to cut to hide certain things that are choreographed by the action directors instead. I went over that in my Letterboxd review more, but I think Christopher Nolan gets a bad rap for that. But even if it is partially his fault, the story that is going on here is really, really well done for sure.
Yeah, I think this is the first like Batman movie to make me really care about Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think these movies really just focus on Bruce Wayne instead of like it's not really about Batman. It's just about Bruce Wayne's story.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I really liked it here.
Mm-hmm. It was because I think they did a really good job at balancing back and forth between Bruce Wayne's past and Bruce Wayne's future in a way of, or like present at least. It reminds me of the show Daredevil on Netflix, how it flashes back and forth between them using things that he learns in his past to influence his future. And I think that's a really smart way of doing it. And this movie did it quite well. So if you want to say that the editing is bad, yes, absolutely. In the action sequences, it's quite awful. But the overarching story, how it edits itself, is actually quite done.
Yeah, I really like the story of this movie.
Yeah. I think also another problem that I have is I think that even if Ra's al Ghul is a great opponent for Bruce Wayne, I feel like it should have been Scarecrow that's the final battle because this whole movie is about overcoming fear.
Yeah.
And since it has Ra's al Ghul come... Actually, you know what? I'm just going to say this now. Spoilers for all three of these movies. If you haven't watched them, we're going to be spoiling all of them. But whenever Ra's al Ghul comes back at the end, I was kind of like, I wish you would have just kept the fear element going. But again, it does make sense because he has to fight Ra's al Ghul without fear now, instead of compared to before when he was afraid of bats. And anyway,
I was pretty upset about Scarecrow not being too much. Like, he's like a really underrated villain in like the Rogues Gallery. So
absolutely, yeah.
And they had a really good
a lot
actor.
of the acting is also
great. Cillian Murphy was great in every single scene he was in.
Oh yeah, the only actor that I didn't like was Katie Holmes. I don't think she's
no.
good in this
Yeah,
movie.
no. I'm glad she got recast as Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, she's not good.
Yeah. I think Ralph the Movie Maker goes into that on his Dark Knight Trilogy video, which is great, by the way. Yeah, I found that to be really good. But yeah, overall, I think it's just a really, really solid beginning to the story. Even if I think one thing that it needed like a different location set, because as much as it wants you to feel engaged with Gotham as how dark and dreary and how like just wet and dirty everything feels, I think it have trouble getting you to remember certain things, because I watched it like a week and a half ago and I've already forgotten some things about it just because the location wasn't memorable enough, or some of the scenes and stuff like that. That's just a personal thing.
And I really love how like they explain like how Batman got all of his equipment and stuff.
Yeah,
I really
like
its
take on the Batman mythos, like how they deal with all the different like aspects of his character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, how did he get his version of the Batmobile? How does he find his version of the Batcave? The way they did that, it's really well done, and it like explains all the goofy like comic book shit, like the weird grappling hook, or like the blade things on his gauntlets. Explain it in like a realistic way, which is a lot more very down to earth, I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Also, something I forgot about this movie when we're watching it now. This movie is like really funny. There's a lot of good levity in this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like that scene with the coat. I thought that was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
It was a set up and payoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like all dark. There's a lot of good levity in it.
But I think Christopher Nolan has a really good way of keeping that writing balanced with the dark subject matter. If you look, like, even at in The Dark Knight, where David used that first opening line, "I'm not wearing hockey pants." That's kind of a good way of like balancing that comedic writing with the dark subject matter.
And it's like it doesn't feel like the movie stops to like tell a joke. I think it works perfectly within the story itself.
It takes a look at the comedic situation, or like the comedy and the irony of the situation, if that makes sense. I don't really know if there's anything else to say, and I think again that's probably where my problems come into play here. But because it's just not really anything more to talk about other than those few things that we've mentioned, if that makes sense.
Yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty great movie. It's a little bit dated in some aspects of it, but I think it's a really solid story, and I really cared about Bruce Wayne and his conflict.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it and it also has so many great quotes in it too. Why do we follow Bruce? To learn to pick ourselves back up again. I think that's one of the really good lines. And then also whenever Alfred says that he's never giving up on Bruce, which is also another really good moment between them.
Yeah, I think Alfred's a great character. I think
absolutely,
he's an underrated character
they really nail him in all. Like, he's probably the most consistent and well written character throughout the entire franchise, because he's in every movie and he's been incredibly consistent. Well, some characters change and and stuff like that. So, is that all we have to say? Does anyone have any other thoughts?
No, not really. Other than I think it's probably the most forgettable out of all of them. There isn't really much about the films that about Batman Begins that really sticks out in my mind.
Yeah, I feel the same way for sure. So do we want to move on to ratings then?
Sure.
Yeah, I would give it like a 4 out of 5 or like an 8 out of 10. I think it's a pretty great movie. There's some flaws I have with it, but I think it's pretty underrated, I think.
Absolutely. For me, I'm probably gonna give it. I'm on the brink of 3.5 or 4. 4 out of 5. I was about to say 4 out of 10. Yeah, 4 out of 10. The movie sucks. Flipping garbage. Hate Christopher Nolan. So I would probably lean towards more of a 4. There's a lot of great stuff in it, and I think the only problems that I have with it are the editing, which is objective, and the stuff that I don't remember, which is completely subjective to my point of view. So yeah.
Yeah, would you guys give it?
3.9.
I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. I'm feeling
nice. Yeah.
Wait, out of 10? I thought it was out of 5.
Yeah, best movie ever. Let's go.
7 out of 5. So let's move on to the masterpiece, The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight.
Here
I feel
go.
I think this movie improves basically everything about the first movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It improves everything to come out of the past decade before it, pretty much. I think it's most definitely one of the best movies of that decade. And I think honestly again, I know this is not everyone feels the same way, but this is in my top movies. I've consistently loved this.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies. It's great. The action is definitely improved.
Yeah, absolutely.
The action scenes are great in this movie.
The car chase.
I really appreciate Christopher Nolan's use of practical effects.
Yes.
That's something that I think everybody could appreciate about him.
Yeah. So there were only, I can't remember. Okay, the very few moments of CGI in there were the helicopter, whenever the helicopter crashes into the side of the building, and then whenever the bat pod bike, I don't, what's it called?
It's a bat pod. I think
when the bat pod comes out of the Batmobile, that's literally the only CG the big visual effects shots in the movie, which is crazy because
there's also Heath Ledger as well.
Heath Ledger's great.
He is just a master. I don't know how else to say. He just, every scene you look at, you're just like, how?
My father.
Yeah.
It's
Especially
just like
like the opening scene. It really that's an amazing scene. Like it defines his like character.
Yeah.
And like
absolutely.
how he is.
It's I think the first whatever it is, like 5 or 6 minutes are probably some of the most perfect cinema to come out of the past few decades, easily.
Yeah.
Mixed with the music by Hans Zimmer, which that first score.
Oh, definitely. But the soundtrack. Oh, I forgot how good the soundtrack is.
All three of the
in
soundtracks
this movie.
are incredible. Even if like there's definitely problems with The Dark Knight Rises. I think that like it's insane how consistent and how incredible he ups his game in each one, which is fantastic to see.
And I really love the conflict that Batman goes through in this movie too, or like Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Him having to deal with being Batman and like being in love with Rachel, and he can't really be with her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also leading to one of the most brutal twists, and I just think a twist that we take for granted for a meme is Rachel getting blown up. As funny as it is now, because you've seen so many things about it, I think it's one of the hardest cutting plot twists in, first of all, any superhero movie. I think it kind of gets the same reaction that a lot of people got from Infinity War at the end. It's just really crazy because you have this character that you expect to go places with, and then it's cut short without even giving her a last line, which is crazy. Heath Ledger, again, fantastic. He's basically done, like, there's just no, everyone's saying, oh, Joaquin Phoenix, and Joaquin Phoenix is really great, and he did transform himself, but this is Joker to me. This is,
I really love how mysterious he is.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's my favorite aspect about his character.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't really know anything about him. Like, there was that scene with Commissioner Gordon where he's talking about, there's no fingerprints or, like, no previous alias. That's a great scene.
Yeah, absolutely. And whenever he tells whenever he tells different stories to people about how he got these scars, again, this movie has been memed so much, but
it was a little bit distracting, but I still like love the character.
Absolutely.
Want to see a magic trick?
Again, that's whenever so people love the first scene, but that's whenever they realize that this is Joker. That scene is so integral to his character and just really shapes him, and giving that brutal laughing in a way, kind of that like very dark comedy that you're so used to from the comics, and you're like, wow, it's on the big screen, like here it is. And it also has they usually wait for the first interaction with Joker and Batman, which is really good in my opinion, and like the dinner party sequence, that's fantastic.
Also he's smart as well.
Yes, absolutely. Both are
like he's really I think that's a great aspect of him too.
I think the best aspect of this film, just for me, is that how it's not really like exploring Batman that much. Like we've already had all that. It's more like it's pretty much just a Joker movie, because you watch I wasn't able to properly watch all of his movies, so I was looking up clips on YouTube. And on like the official like the movie clips YouTube channel, like every single clip was of Joker. Like there was hardly any of Batman. I think that just speaks volumes to how like well defined his character is.
I think Two-Face is a great character as well. I think he's an awesome character.
It builds up Harvey Dent and Joker's philosophy.
Yeah, and I really love like how he turns. It's pretty, and it's actually pretty tragic as well. Because he kind of, like, represented hope for Gotham.
It's really... Everything just goes hand in hand so perfectly. People believe that Two-Face is really just kind of a side plot, but I think he is really kind of the main plot of this movie. Like, but Joker is,
the whole
like...
quote.
He's the catalyst of Joker's plan. And kind of how it's almost the representation of his madness in Two-Face, and I think it's
because usually movies like this could just like could fall apart with too many villains, but
Absolutely.
I think it really balances it very well.
Yeah.
Because usually when that happens, it's like all the villains are not really connected together.
Mm-hmm.
But like in this movie, they like affect each other in a way that is really natural.
Mm-hmm.
It's everything just goes so. Or like meshes so well together that you just think about, how would a person write this? Like, how would you come up with the idea to create both a like a dynamic trio between Batman, Two-Face or Harvey Dent, and Joker, and how to make them all interconnect together. So while Will is definitely right while saying it's more of a Joker movie, it also does progress Batman's character in that sometimes villains don't have to have a rhyme or reason for doing something and just want to watch the world burn, as Alfred says.
Yeah.
Can I spoil something?
Because, it's something new that Batman has to deal with, and I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, Frankie, we're definitely doing spoilers on all these, so go for it.
I think the, Harvey Dent's character is, one of my favorite ones out of this whole movie. I do love the Joker, but it's really, depressing seeing Harvey Dent go from this one good guy to, get so caught up in, so much shit that he ends up being the bad guy later in the end.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever felt as bad for a villain's death ever since, I think, Willem Dafoe's portrayal of Goblin. They both, to me, feel like characters that I really do enjoy, even as villains.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's heartbreaking, honestly. It leaves you, and even though it leaves on that that cold cut of that line that just gives you chills, it's such as, and I think it was David said, it's such a tragic story that really just seeps into your skin and just kind of whoa, he won. Joker, he's the one that won. Batman's now on the loose, running from the police, and what Joker of course didn't expect, because he wanted to see a fall of an empire towards Gotham, and not just Batman, but both. Batman decides to take the fall instead, which I think
also
is really,
another
really
great scene is that the boat scene where they
yeah.
detonate each other's bombs. I thought that's an awesome scene.
And the Joker's wrong there as well. So it's
it shows.
It's an interesting
his
way of
when.
Oh, sorry.
Oh. No, keep going. Sorry.
It's an interesting way of exploring that, where it's there is some stuff to suggest, he is right about certain things. He may be insane, but there is definitely a method to the madness. And then just with that, it says, maybe he does have no idea.
Mm-hmm. It's whenever I'm just so blown away. It's hard to talk about this because it's just so well made. Anyway,
going back to
a lot of people have said a lot.
Sorry.
Oh no, that's all I have to say. It's just it's kind of hard to say anything new because everybody has their review of this movie.
Yeah.
Going back to your point on the boat, I think that scene gave me a little bit more chills than I expected. Where where you have the passengers of all the, I think, inmates on one, and then all the innocents that are basically just regular citizens on another. It's really chilling how they're kind of forced to make a decision, and some of the citizens are just let's just blow them up. They really got nothing going for them. But the inmates just are we really have nothing going. They're innocent regardless. We're here and screwed.
Yeah, and I think that's Will touched on this a little bit too.
Yeah.
But throughout the entire movie, it's really shown how Joker can corrupt people, how we're just as crazy as he is, until it comes to the boat scene, where it shows that his plan is flawed, that his logic of what he thinks is right and true.
I don't think on that point, I don't think Joker's someone that wants to see the world burn. I think maybe more of my interpretation is he thinks that the world is already burning.
And just needs to set or no, it's already, I think, a better, I get what you're going for, but it's already soaked in gasoline and just needs to be shown a match or something like that, if that makes sense. And I think that's also kind of what Alfred was trying to say, that and what Joker is trying to say too, which is what I'm saying. I'm it's so interwoven together so beautifully, that it's almost like a puzzle, if that makes sense.
I kind of feel like this inspired some other superhero movies today, because you hardly ever see anything go dark.
Wow, yes.
Because I think we all consider this one of the best superhero movies ever made.
It's the best superhero movie. Yeah, without
I think
a question.
It's my favorite.
And it also set a precedent for superhero movies where they were just trying to be the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Trying to replicate that same tone, that same kind of, or just the mood to it.
A crime drama. I consider this more of a crime drama than a superhero.
Absolutely.
It really didn't feel like one.
Yeah. And it also, like, Christopher Nolan adds so many little things to it, and I know countless people have mentioned this, but whenever people complained about the head in the first movie, how he wasn't able to turn, and so you would think, because most movies like Iron Man, they update the suit without kind of really saying much about it, in the Avengers movies and stuff like that. Well, it actually shows the progression of creating the suit, making you almost feel like Bruce Wayne in that sense. Makes you feel like Bruce Wayne. And
there is like there is like a kind of, I guess you would say, diegetic reason for as to how he would why he makes the decision to change the suit that doesn't feel weird.
Yeah, makes it a plot point, which is really smart. And I think so many people are trying to replicate, as Will said, with these new DC EU films. And it just doesn't work because they don't have a person that understands story. Whether, like, Zack Snyder, his visuals are beautiful. Oh. He's a really beautiful director in a sense, but not in terms of story. And I think people are missing that.
I think he'd be a good DP, but not like a good director.
Yeah, I gotta butt in on this. I don't like Zack Snyder as much. I do understand the hate. He can make some good stuff with cinematography and shots, but his storytelling is just awful at sometimes. I don't like that he was basically I think defending that Batman should kill. That whole thing for not just Justice League, but like Batman vs Superman. It could have been a really good movie. Like, I've seen the extended editions. One of my best friends likes it, and he defends
what makes
it.
Batman interesting.
Yeah, but like, I don't get his defense for it, just because it was like, oh yeah, one comic book before Batman kills someone in the comic, but oh god,
did you hear, like, he did fairly recently, like last year, he did he went off on one about people who complain about his heroes killing. He went
he came out on stage.
Wake up, this is reality. My superheroes kill people.
You need to wake the F up.
You're not living in a fucking fantasy world.
And that's just
yeah.
I honestly, I don't know how he's still, because I think he's still with a DC, isn't he? Has he gotten fired yet? I don't think he has.
He's been replaced as the creative lead. I think now it's Jeff Johns.
But he didn't get off like James Gunn for making tweets like 10 years ago. Anyway.
Yeah.
That kind of shows the difference between Disney and DC, and that's what I'm waiting for. Show me darker DC films, even if Joker isn't great in my opinion. It's still a path towards a darker superhero genre, which is what we want. This is still The Dark Knight is an incredibly dark movie.
Yeah, but
hence the title.
Something else, like what you said with Batman Begins, it does have like moments of levity and moments where it does realize, like, oh, this is just like, it's like a comic book thing, you know, where it's like, I'm not wearing hockey pads moment. Like it knows just how like stupid some parts of it are, and it doesn't go too overboard with certain parts.
Absolutely.
Oh, also one other thing, on, like, we were talking about the suit earlier. I really like how they shot it in this movie. Yeah, like, it's mostly covered in dark, and it looks really, really good in some places, which is like something that. And it also in Batman Begins as well. Like, it was filmed really, really well, and they were aware of the limitations, which they didn't really keep in mind for Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. And that's, like, because we don't really see it in the light that much. It's very hidden in shadows. And, like, whenever you do see it in the interrogation room between Joker and Batman, and then it's like, oh, it looks really, really good. And that's kind of, like, showing both of them in the light for the whole world to see, and even the audience to see what it looks like. Because we always want that
they're similar. And that's a point that Joker makes as well.
Yeah. And before this, I think that people were always looking forward to see what would happen with Joker and Batman in a room with nothing else. That's all we want to see. And then it shows us, and it's seriously, I forget about the scene, but it is one of the best scenes in the movie. Anyway, there's too many good scenes to talk about. I think we should move on to ratings, because we could talk about this movie all day. And we still have one more to get to. For me, for a rating, I think this is probably going to be a pretty straightforward 5 over anything else.
5 out of 5.
Yeah.
5 out of 5.
I'd give it I'd give it a 9. I think the only real problem I have with it is that I'm not too keen on their interpretation of Batman, like in contrast to the Joker, because the Joker is like, he's very like scheming, he's conniving, like he's somebody who's very very intelligent, and he should be like he should like match Batman's intelligence, and I feel like the Batman we see in this trilogy, he isn't really all that smart. He's not like a detective or anything.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah,
I could see that.
Sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now it's time to move on to the fun one.
Oh God. Okay, so
You're pretty big.
Before we get started, I'm gonna say this, and I know, here we go. This is where the attacks come. I like
controversial.
I like it. I think it has tons of flaws, but honestly, I've just been so devoted to this trilogy that it's kind of it wraps it up pretty nicely in the end, for me at least. But
I disagree.
Yeah.
You're pretty big.
Like I don't hate this movie. There's plenty a lot to like, because it's Christopher Nolan. Of course, there's gonna be stuff to like. But overall, I really get the vibe that Christopher Nolan really didn't want to make this movie.
Yeah.
I really get that.
It felt like everyone after. Okay, what did this movie come after? Was it Inception? It was Inception.
Yes.
And everyone was like, they were like begging for him to make it, and then they made Inception. They're like, okay, well now you have to make The Dark Knight Rises, and he's like, but I want to do Interstellar, and it's just. So I really get what you mean right there.
It just really feels like a rushed product. I think
it has way too many.
I think it is really
way
rushed.
too much stuff going on. Like it, yeah.
It also doesn't feel very cohesive between like with the Dark Knight, like the way that ended. Like most of the stuff in the Dark Knight it's fairly like glossed over. And I think that's just because like Heath Ledger died and he wasn't able to tell the proper story he wanted to tell.
Yeah. I think Christopher Nolan really wanted to continue with the Joker, which I would have loved, but unfortunately he died. And like, also, how are you gonna top the Dark Knight? Like,
Yeah.
And I think those are the reasons. That's why Christopher Nolan wasn't really passionate.
One thing I am going to
it.
bring up that I really like is that it takes an 8-year break from the Dark Knight to see where we can follow the Batman after so long that people treat him as a mythic god in a way. And I think that is a really smart approach to it. Christopher Nolan was talking about that in an interview, and I'm like, that really does make sense, because if we saw Batman right after The Dark Knight, it would feel, I don't know, even if it does take away a bit of the potential that he's been hiding, like him hiding from the cops, but I don't think we're really here to see that. I think we're here to see more of the Batman character, which this really does take Batman back to his roots. Like in the first one, in Batman Begins, he's found in a jail cell, while this one he's found in yet another jail cell, kind of bringing him and redefining his character so he can find out who he is, if that makes sense.
I just really love Bane.
Yes.
I think
I do not really
I have a
like
ton
Bane.
of problems with Bane.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
like with his voice, the sound mixing
his
is
90
awful.
decibel
it's like
voice.
Some of the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
God.
whenever
You
he
atrocious.
talks,
Okay.
it doesn't feel like he's a character in the film. Like he feels like a narrator.
It does.
'Cause, like,
It's weird. It feels like
everyone else is like quiet, but he's like super loud.
he's super loud and
I think the
like the
sound
way
mixing isn't good.
his voice sounds in comparison to everyone else. It sounds like Tom Hardy in like a sound studio, just recording the lines and dubbing it over.
Yeah, no, you're
I
right.
think it's
The
really
mixing
goofy.
is really. I think the idea for it is pretty good with the mask, but yeah, it does. I definitely remember saying like, okay, no, he definitely didn't say it like that there.
And
and also his conclusion too.
Yeah.
Okay, they should have kept Bane as the main villain. I'm saying this now. How they have Talia al Ghul come in at the end?
Yeah.
No. Just
That was stupid.
It undermines
I think
Bane's
this movie
purpose so
has
much.
like the same problem that Spider-Man 3 and the Amazing Spider-Man 2 has, where you just introduce a bunch of characters and you can't really develop anything, and I think that's why I don't feel like it's a great conclusion.
Yeah.
Because like this movie is like almost 3 hours long and not that much is really developed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's because the thing is that there are a lot of good scenes and a lot of good scenes of philosophy that Christopher Nolan always likes to put into his movies, like with the Robin character. I can't remember the specific scenes, but I do remember that there were scenes in there that have really interesting philosophy. Oh yeah, for instance, whenever he comes to his door and he starts talking to Bruce Wayne. I think that's a really good scene between them. But the thing is, though, is that it's overshadowed by way too much other stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just focus on what you want to tell. And because the main story of this being is that anyone can be Batman. Like, that's the main
there's
point.
That bad scene where, like, oh, sorry.
It's weird.
The main.
Oh, sorry. Again.
No, it's fine. No, go for it.
I was gonna say it's weird that like, because Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, he's like built up as kind of a big thing at the end, but like I feel like I haven't really gotten to like know this guy, know what he's all about, and I really hate that scene where he just comes to the mansion and he's like, one day you showed up to the orphanage and I knew you were Batman. And he's just like,
oh,
okay.
yeah, that was what I was about to mention. I think that's a really that was so.
They imply
stupid.
like at the end, like, oh, he's gonna become the next Batman, or he is just gonna be Robin. Like, what? You're gonna fight crime using your legal name? But then it doesn't really make any sense. Like, why would Batman be like, okay, this guy's gonna be the new Batman? Like, he's just some dude. He's not even that smart. He just felt you were Batman.
But the problem is that this could have been done really well, because I think the character of Robin and him just being a regular cop is a good idea if they can balance it enough by saying the story anyone can be Batman, because that's what it's trying to say, but it has too much other crap that it has to sort through that it doesn't know what it wants to tell.
Yeah, I think the script is really messy, and I think a lot of the dialogue is really bad,
God. There's so much.
I think a lot of Bane's lines are pretty good.
Yeah.
It has that classic Christopher Nolan writing that you really like enjoy from the people, like the quippy, not quippy like Marvel, but like taking notice and the irony of the situation. And like again, the line. I can't remember it now. Anyway, let's keep going.
I do.
What do you guys think of Catwoman? I don't really like Catwoman.
I thought she was actually a pretty good part of the film. I like her little theme, and I think
I wasn't a big fan
I think
of her.
she did I don't know. I think her character fits in a Dark Knight movie, but just not that movie. If that makes any sense?
Yeah.
It feels like pick Robin or Catwoman.
Yeah.
That's kind of what, because you're trying to balance too many things, and when like the last scene at the end, whenever he's at like the dinner table, and which I actually really do love. Alfred saying that he wants his fantasy to see that Bruce Wayne has just left and is
like in every scene of this movie, Michael Caine is just crying.
I failed you, Master Wayne.
I don't like seeing him cry. I don't know why. Seeing Michael Caine cry makes me cry.
All he really
that's
does.
what I was. It's
I
so
don't
bad.
really like him in this movie either. I don't really enjoy any of the.
He's barely even in it.
Movie.
He just fucks off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, another point. Except for the first action scene, which I thought was really good, I really do not like the action.
Practical.
Oh god,
let's go.
Oh my god, I could talk for ages about the fucking action. Like that bit where him and Catwoman go down into like Bane's lair. Oh my god, it was so bad. Like the fucking Five Nights at Freddy's like Batman. Like he's just going in and out of the light, or like. Oh my god, there's a bit where Catwoman's like, she's just walking down like a hallway, and then, there's a thug, he's like running, and then Catwoman, she like brings her like foot out. It doesn't make any impact with the guy. I've looked through that footage, and it's just like a poof sound effect. And she just, there's no impact.
The editing in this movie, I don't think it's worse than Batman Begins, but there's some pretty bad editing moments, I think.
And like, I was laughing at like, just because they didn't know how to film like Batman. Like the bit where he's walking down into that lair, where he's like in broad like lighting, him and Catwoman. Yeah. I was laughing because it just looked so goofy. It looked like a parody.
Mm-hmm.
Especially during the last scene with Bane, where he's like, "So you come to see your city burn?" Yeah. He's like, "No, I've come to stop you."
Yeah, that was really. I'm like, okay.
That was so goofy, and like that's not Batman to me. Like I think it's a cool story arc, like on paper, to see like Batman rising, him having to be like a detective, and he can't just fight people.
Because I think we can all say that the idea for this and what this movie wants to do is good. Like I think that whenever having Batman fight alongside the cops is really cool to see that character arc from the Dark Knight, and showing that story of anyone can be Batman. That's a really good idea. To have Robin in it too as just a regular cop, I think those balance together really nicely. But it doesn't it doesn't fit. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
This is controversial, but I did not think Bane really has much of a place in like this kind of story. I feel because The Dark Knight, like, it was about, okay, it's not just about like beating up a guy. It's like sometimes there's more. There's like an idea, and then like the lesson he learns in The Dark Knight is just kind of reverted, and he's fighting Bane, which is just like punching a guy. And also, like, I feel the villain should have been switched. Obviously, they couldn't have done it, but I wish in The Dark Knight, I think it should have been Bane, like, as the villain, and then he breaks Batman in that film, and then 8 years later he comes back to fight the Joker. That makes more sense to me. Like,
that does actually make a lot more sense.
Because
like
as a concept, he is cool because he is basically better than Batman in every way. Like, he's smarter, he's stronger,
goofier.
He's a better fighter.
Yeah. And I feel like the biggest problem with Bane is that they could have had a really good story if it was just Bane, but whenever they have Talia al Ghul come in at the end,
that was so stupid.
For that
just
twist,
the villain all of a sudden.
It feels like they've just been setting. The only reason why Bane's character existed is just to set that up, and even though she's just such really a useless character.
And I felt like I never really got to know Bane as well. Like, I didn't really get to know what... Like, The Dark Knight spent the entire film, like, building up Harvey Dent and the Joker as well as Batman, whereas Bane, he's just... To me, he's just, like, some, like, buff dude with, like, a weird voice. And I couldn't take anything he said seriously with the voice, because I just associate it with all these parodies nowadays. It's so that's not really the film's fault.
Yeah, and his conclusion isn't good. Like, he just dies. Like, I was like, wait, what? Like,
yeah,
what
that happened? Was so
Catwoman just shoots him.
They wasted so much.
Yeah. Also, actually, we haven't really talked about this, but I really liked Commissioner Gordon's character in these movies, and in this movie he's useless too.
I like the bit where he's like trying to like get on the truck. It's just really goofy.
Yeah. Oh, there was that scene where like he was with Batman, like right about he's about to take the bomb out of the city, and like Batman comes with like an elaborate way to tell him that he's Bruce Wayne, and then to explain to the dumb audience, he's like, "Oh my God, it's Bruce Wayne." That was stupid as hell.
Yeah.
And Talia al Ghul's death scene. My father's.
That was really just like. And he just like shakes her head too whenever like doing like a double chin and just like that was really funny and pretty distracting.
Yeah, there's like a lot of really unintentional.
Yeah, I did find it you guys, this is maybe not a problem with it, but like whenever they were doing like helicopter shots of Gotham and there would usually be like jets flying by or like explosions going off, I was like looking and it was so obviously like they just took a helicopter shot of just the city and then they just left it because when there's all these explosions going on, the city's meant to be in disarray. You can still see like all the cars moving, like you can see the cars in traffic, and I was like, okay.
And Bane's plan, like how he took over the city, doesn't really make sense either. There's like a lot to go into, but it doesn't really make that much sense.
And the pit as well.
Yeah,
I think that's like a cool concept, like the scale of the story of him like basically taking over the city. Could be like a cool idea, but like I said, it just wasn't really well executed.
I love like Gotham being a no man's land and Batman having to like bring order to it. I love that idea, but like I feel it just the execution doesn't really work, and I feel like Batman, like the bat symbol being lighted up on the bridge, that should have been like a big moment for me, like a really memorable moment. And when it happened, I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
didn't feel very earned.
Too much stuff
because like nothing's really developed at all.
How did you guys feel about Scarecrow coming back in that movie?
That was weird.
It was weird. I liked it. Gave like more continuity to the entire like trilogy.
Yeah, he's in all three.
It's weird because I'm like, I want to love you, but you weren't developed fucking good.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. It's got a good idea, and honestly, after you guys talking about hearing all of it come together, I definitely don't. I think I've missed it because I think I've just been such a Nolan fanboy that I've been throughout the entire runtime of the film. But now it really kind of makes more sense why your guys' point of view. Yeah. So should we move on to ratings? Or do you guys have any other things to say?
I want to say there's some really, really bad like ADR. There's like lines that were very obviously like, dubbed over.
Yeah.
There's like bits.
Yeah.
There's bits where characters just don't speak, but there's like they're meant to be talking. Like their mouths are completely closed, and then they just finish off the line like just by speaking. There's one shot where Batman as Bruce Wayne is talking to Talia al Ghul, and it's like an over the shoulder shot of you're like over the shoulder of Bruce Wayne looking at Talia al Ghul.
Oh yeah.
He's meant to be talking, but like his mouth isn't moving at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
feels like
it's really distracting.
like the sitcom Friends, whenever they're completely saying something different, and then it's anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, for a rating for me, I'll start off. We'll go from. I guess we're probably going to be going from high to low, but I'll give it a 3.5. I think it has some good stuff.
Yeah, I think you justified herself well.
Frankie, what would you give it?
It's okay, you don't have to be scared.
Here we go. Wait for it.
4. Just
Okay.
kidding.
No, it's fine. Honestly,
3.
Yeah.
I give it a
5?
3.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I give it like a 2 out of 5 stars, like
Okay.
a 4 out of 10.
Bring it home, Will. Give it that
I
one
like it.
star.
I'd give it a 3 out of 10. There's like
Oh, really?
yeah,
Oh,
there
okay.
is
Wow,
some
yeah.
stuff I like. I like a lot of the ideas, and I love like the scale of it is definitely impressive. Like the scene that always sticks out in my mind is just the football stadium, and like it's all just collapsing.
It is
IMAX
a
for the win.
relatively well shot movie,
Yeah.
and I still
Well,
do
there-
appreciate the use of practical
There are
effects.
still
And of
some
course the
shots
score
that
is
I think look really
fantastic.
goofy, like Batman just standing in the middle of the road with the
I
iPad.
kind of feel like if Christopher Nolan didn't make this movie, it wouldn't be as like acclaimed for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Like if his name wasn't attached to it, it'd be judged way harsher.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think that's it for the discussion. So I think for most of us, it's probably the same. Dark Knight is first, then it's Batman Begins, then it's Dark Knight Rises. Which actually Batman
Yeah,
Begins switched with Dark Knight Rises for me around this time. So yeah, pretty cool. If you guys haven't seen them, they're actually all on Netflix, or at least for me in Canada.
Yeah, that's not
so
for us
give
in
them
the
a watch.
UK. Whoa, sorry.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had to pirate Dark Knight Rises. I just watched the rest.
Gotta
on
do what
clips
you
on
gotta do.
YouTube.
And then so for I guess for the next segment, do you guys have any upcoming video projects that you guys are working on that you want to share about?
It's a pretty big project. I'm looking forward to making it. I just have to watch a lot of movies.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
hopefully that's a good hint for the viewers.
I honestly have no idea, but you know what? I'm ready. Yeah, that'll be cool. And then Frankie, you said that you finished the script for Evil Dead, correct?
Yep. I already have my intro started. I'm making fun of myself. But
Very cool.
yeah.
Nice. And Will, do you got anything that's coming up for you?
Yeah, I'm working on a couple. I've been writing a video on like Tarantino and like why I think he's so good, like on the sidelines.
Foot fetish.
Yeah. I'm
That's his
also
success.
really considering doing like a proper review of The Dark Knight Rises because I have a lot to say about
Okay.
that.
Do it!
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
I also want to do like a retrospective of A New Hope, like an analysis of it about why I think
Very
it was
cool.
so good.
Yeah.
I have a whole list of stuff I want to do.
I do want to hear, what's your favorite Tarantino flick? Because that's always something that's quite interesting to hear.
Inglourious Bastards, I think.
Nice. Yes, that's a
Mine's a
fantastic-
Kill Bill.
Yeah, Kill Bill's
1
mine
and 2.
too.
I count them as one movie.
Yeah. I actually don't like I don't count them as one movie because I don't really like the second half that much, but I'll have to rewatch it another time for that one. We've already had enough disagreement in this so far.
Yeah.
For me, something that I'm working on is a short film. I recently just finished the script like 2 days ago. What happened is that we have a new media course and a few of my friends are in it. So then we had to do something for our final project. And then one of their moms said that we should film tomorrow in the flower field because I've been looking for a flower field to film in for a long time. And my mom actually found the location of one. So then I just had to finish the script as fast as I could. And then we went to film towards it, which it went really, really well. I was looking for one for so long and I finally found one. So worked out really, really well. So hopefully I should keep filming that over the next couple of weeks and have it out maybe in the next month or two, possibly. I don't know. We'll see if it gets done. Most of mine don't. But yeah. Another thing that I want to start adding is more recommendations for you guys to watch. So one is that you can recommend a movie, or not a movie, but a video that you watched on YouTube. So like, what's like the best video either made you laugh, made you cry, whatever, like just a really good YouTube video.
I really liked Will's Clone Wars video.
Again, I haven't seen, like, I've been waiting for Clone Wars videos. I've just, like, no one's making them, so I am going to watch that ASAP after this.
His script made me cry.
That's awesome. For me, I watched Dear Sister. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's an SNL skit from like 2007, and I just got recommended from.
You watched Carson Runquist's video.
Yeah, it's literally so funny. Like I didn't know where the meme came from, and I watched it, and I'm like, that is like the pinnacle of comedy. Holy, it's Anyway,
and it was just filmed on a whim too. They just like, oh yeah, we're in a hotel, let's just do this.
Yep,
and it went big.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's like 3.5 minutes or something like that. It's fantastic. Yeah. Frankie, do you have a video?
Yes. Our friend, that other George, recently hit that 4K mark. He made that a Q&A video, and that thing,
milestone.
Yep. Mm-hmm. He's an ultimate gamer. That video shows how much skill he has, and why I don't want to play with him if I'm playing against him. He scares me.
He'll just carry you.
Yeah.
And Will, do you have a video that you watched recently that's really good?
I watched recently Pyrocynical's analysis of Far Cry 3. I really enjoyed that. That was really good. Cool. And I also watched
I don't really watch Pyrocynical. I haven't really watched it, but I might watch that video.
His like review videos are really, really good. Like, I think his Far Cry 3 one is probably his best one yet. I really like that video. I also watched a pretty good video on Diary of a Wimpy Kid, like its its impact on modern culture, like meme culture and stuff like that, and that was a really good video.
Very cool. That's awesome.
Have you seen that one that like basically exposes him for like being like a sociopath?
Oh yeah, but that was a good video.
Yeah, I love that
video. So yeah, go watch those videos. They're all really good. For our recommendations. And speaking of recommendations, Frankie, it is your turn to recommend for next week.
Oh yeah.
Or next episode.
Yeah, next episode.
Yeah, we're not consistent.
Next episode, I want to bring, in my opinion, an action horror classic. Something that I'm pretty sure is not forgotten, but people may or may not know about. It features the lovable Arnold Schwarzenegger screaming in all his glory. Ah! Get to the chopper! Ah! It's 1980s The Predator, not Shane Black's The Predator, because that was an atrocious thing to ever happen to cinema.
Yeah, I'm really looking for it. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you haven't?
That's cool. No, I haven't seen The Predator yet. That's been on my watch list for a while, and now I have an excuse to watch it.
Yeah, first time I watched it, I didn't like it, but that was just because I was like, probably 12 years old or something like that, and I was like, oh, it's just a bunch of muscles and guns. I don't like it. So I actually analyze it as a film instead. So I'm excited for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. If you guys want to keep updated with what we're doing on all of this for our podcast or videos and stuff, follow us on Instagram, Letterboxd, and Twitter. We usually update, and David actually retweets a lot of funny videos, so if you want to follow him on there.
Follow me on Twitter.
Like literally, videos, so really many of the videos are, I can't with some of the videos that you retweet. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I guess we'll see you guys. Also,
and,
thanks
Will, thank you for coming on.
That was awesome.
It was a pleasure to be on. Thank you for talking. Thank you for letting me on.
I'm glad someone was on my side.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great. Definitely added to the conversation for sure. Do you have a Letterboxd by any chance?
I do. I'm Hole in My Garden on Letterboxd, and I'm at Whole Garden on Twitter.
Yeah, so just send us the links and we'll put them in the description.
Absolutely, yeah.
Definitely. Can we have him back on a future episode?
Absolutely.
I love this guy. I love this guy.
Yeah, we'll definitely. That'd be great.
Yeah,
I'd love to have him on again.
Yeah, it'd be a pleasure to be on
awesome.
again.
Well, Well, again, thanks for listening or watching, whatever you want to do. If you watch this, then I am very proud because it's just basically audio. So that's pretty cool that you do that. But again, thanks for listening, and I will catch you guys in the next episode.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you guys later.
Yours,
Bye.
of course, is officially gone.